Hey Marcus, glad you came on today and just trying to get a little preview of what you're going to be covering for us at the Chapel Grove Young Speakers meeting this year. If you would just take a couple of seconds to introduce yourself and why you have some expertise on these topics that you're going to be covering for us, which, by the way, they are digital dangers and substance abuse in a modern world. So go ahead.
My name is Marcus Reppert, and I appreciate Aaron the invitation. I'm really excited about is it June 12th and 13th there at Chapel Grove for the entire meeting, but in particular the topics that you've assigned not only to me but to the other speakers. Really looking forward to that. I think it's a great opportunity for folks to hear some things that are very relevant to the world in which we live. You ask about my expertise. I'm an educator, 22 years in education in a variety of roles. I started off as a teacher at the high school level, as a middle school principal, and for the last 4 years, I've been in our school district, the director of student services, and there's a lot of different things that I do in that role. But one thing in particular, I am the school safety director for our district. So that also entails a lot of different things, but a lot of that revolves around some substance abuse issues that we see quite frequently in our middle and high school, and some alarming trends that we see that are troubling, not only obviously in our area, but all young people, and how that affects them not only now but for their life. And then also, I'm the chairperson of our local Unite Coalition. Our U.S. representatives, Hal Rogers, 20 years ago, created an organization in Eastern Kentucky called Operation Unite because of the epidemic of prescription drug abuse, particularly in Eastern Kentucky. And so Unite coalitions have been established throughout my part of the state. And so I'm the chairperson of our local coalition. And our goal is to address drug addiction, is to try to do what we can to bring awareness to the epidemic, not only to school children, but to our entire community. We help folks get into treatment. We provide vouchers for treatment centers. We do a lot with awareness and prevention in our schools, but also in the community. There's a lot of Celebrate Recoveries that we support. So as far as that end goes, that ties in with my work in the school, but that's also a labor of love that I have that I work with on the side. And then in terms of screen time, and you mentioned digital dangers, when I was principal at the middle school, I guess that's been 6-7 years ago, we began to see some major issues related to phones. And of course, that's only increased since that time. And so I began to do some research, and I put together a presentation for really our parent group at the school. And that kind of expanded. There were some other groups that wanted me to continue that or do that presentation. So I don't know that I'm an expert on on digital dangers, but I have some practical information that I would like to share. And my goal, I do think, Aaron, that right now, two of the biggest issues that our society's facing is screen time and substance abuse. And my goal in these presentations is, number one, to bring awareness. I want to bring awareness to parents of what's out there. I'm guilty as a parent. I've got 3 kids myself, and I'm guilty often of thinking of things in terms of, well, when I was in high school, in the mid 90s, that's how I think. I think that's how most people think. And that's natural. And I'll say right up front, kids haven't changed. But I'm telling you, our times have changed. And in particular with screen time and with substance abuse. So we cannot think that things are like they were when we were in high school. When I was in high school, the dominant substances were tobacco, alcohol, maybe a little bit of marijuana, but there wasn't a lot of that around, at least where I was at. Well, today it's Wild West, and the substances are a lot more dangerous, and the supply is a lot more prevalent. And I don't think people realize that. We live in our bubble a lot of times. I don't think people realize, you can order anything off of the internet, and you can have it shipped right to your house. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that awareness. And then also with screen time. You know, we want to, as Christians, we obviously want to develop good, healthy habits for not only for our physical health, but also for our spiritual health. And we have to get control of our screen time. I'm saying that, I'm speaking to the choir here, to myself, but in particular, we've got to instill in our children, in our kids, proper limits regarding screen time so that they can develop good habits for later on down the life. Because we know, you know, the younger that we are when we're exposed to things, the more likelihood later on down the road that we might probably could have major issues related to those things. So those are big topics. You know, I'm gonna try to keep my presentations uh, in a timely fashion, and we're going to cover a lot. But I'm really excited about it and looking forward to the opportunity.
I appreciate that. That's a good introduction. And just as a way of reminder for everybody, our flyer is on our Facebook page as well as our website. Marcus Reppert is from Kentucky, and he's going to be presenting on Wednesday, June the 12th on digital dangers at 7 p.m. at the Chapel Grove Church of Christ, and Thursday also at 7 p.m. on substance abuse in the modern world. So looking forward to having you, Marcus, and everybody make plans to be there.